please. Let me go to the slide. Okay, and this is what we're going to be asking you after we go through the round of where you are and if it's raining. Is that what I want you to do is answer this question. What is an example of how you show your organization's impact in the community? So an example. So for the Cal State Reentry Initiative, we show our impact by reducing recidivism, reducing the number of folks returning to prison. For the IECC, Inland Empire Community Collaboration, Susie Gomez, how might you answer that question?
One of our impact metrics is how much funding do organizations get? How much money have you raised, or how large or is your organization grown in any way? There is more staff. Yeah.
Okay, so those are going to be the types of, so after you go through the no-brainer, where are you and is it raining? Then you can think about that last one, then we're going to go through another round. Okay, so let me stop sharing here. Go back to, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to call your name out because I have you in a certain order and you don't, but that's life. So just get ready. Priscilla Williams.
Just unmute yourself.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And yeah, if you can unmute Priscilla. And then Priscilla, if
yes,
you can tell us where you are. Excellent. Where you are and if it's raining.
Yeah, I'm in Lake Arrowhead along with Marilyn and Sarah. And yes, it is raining.
All right. All right. And Marilyn, I think I know the answer there, but go ahead. Marilyn Mays, hit it. Oh, you're muted as well. Let's see here. There we go. I asked to unmute.
Okay. Yes, I'm in Lake Arrowhead. Can you hear me?
I can. And
it is raining slow but steady.
Excellent.
And we appreciate it. Anything we can get.
Yes, absolutely. And it's not going to snow though. That's for darn sure.
No, no. And we would have been gathered as a group, but all the REMED people here, but we decided it was wise to stay at home.
What wise idea. I'm glad we're actually not meeting in person. Excellent. Yes. Anne.
Hello, I'm in Rim Forest, which is not too far from Lake Arrowhead. Huh. And yes, it's slow and steady, but I understand it's not going to hit us until later. I mean, really hit us.
That's what I understand too. Kind of looking forward to it, actually. Thank you, Anne. Barbara. Barbara Williams.
Hi, everyone. I am in Rialto, California, and no rain yet, but it's coming. I understand it's coming. It's supposed to hit us afternoon. Not yet, though.
Everybody's excited about that. All right. Lady Cheville McKenzie. And you guys know that I'm going to come to you, so unmute. Lady Cheville, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Excellent.
Yes, it is not raining. I'm in Victorville. It's not raining at all. It's very windy. There is no visibility because of the wind, so we can't even see. Can't even walk in it.
Yep, and I'm in Oak Hills, and it's coming your way. Oh. All right, Myra Jackson, Bunny Lady.
I love that, Bunny Lady. It's not raining. It's pretty gray. I'm in Hoopa Valley, 5 minutes away from downtown Riverside.
All right, thank you so much. All right, Margaret Spencer. Margaret, are you there? If so, you're muted. Uh-oh, and Margaret? Okay, I'm gonna skip over you and come back to you. Sarah Green.
So I am in Crestline, which is only like 5 to 10 minutes from Rim Forest where Anne is, and maybe 15 minutes from Lake Arrowhead where Marilyn and Priscilla is. There, of course, it stopped right now. There's been like hurricane force winds here today. It's been nuts. It's pouring, it's windy. That straight ahead should be Lake Gregory, but you can't even see it because it's so foggy. Yeah, so it's nuts here. I keep looking out the window hoping, I mean, I'm just seeing trees swaying everywhere.
Oh my God.
So it's coming, guys. It's coming.
For a person who doesn't get big trees like that, it's beautiful though. I gotta tell you that.
It is. Oh yeah. I'm not upset about it.
Safe.
Yeah, be safe is right. Be safe. Margaret Spencer, are you there? Coming back to you. All right, I'm gonna keep moving then. Let's see. Yoli, the winner, the champion.
Hi, I'm in Riverside and it is just cloudy.
Okay.
No rain, no drizzle, but we'll see because they say it's coming, but I look at my phone and it just says cloudy, so who knows? We'll see.
Huh. All right. Sarah Green, did I get you earlier?
Yeah.
I did, didn't I?
Yes.
Rim Forest. Yes, I did. Got it.
I was
Got it.
the one
All
that was
right. You're
showing
showing
you
me.
out Lake Gregory.
That's right. That's what I thought. I go, wait a second. All right. Juanita Hernandez.
Hi, everybody. I'm currently in La Quinta and it's cloudy and it said it was going to rain, but that was at noon and we'll see what happens.
So let me guess. It's probably less than 80 degrees and you guys are all freezing, right?
Yeah, 77.
Yeah. I was going to say all my desert friends. All right. Amari Cameron.
Hey guys, I'm in Fontana, or we're in Fontana, I guess. He's poking out every once in a while, and it's like misting. It's like a pretty, like just lightly misting on the cars and stuff. We came from Ontario because our Wi-Fi went out, so I don't know if it was because of the storm in Ontario that it started to hit us, but we moved over here and it's a little bit better.
That's my great fear in doing these online trainings.
Yeah, I was like, I'm still here. I'm on my phone. I'm just not as here as I want to be.
Yeah, we got you though. We got you though. Stacy Scranton, are you there?
Let me unmute. There I am. I am in Rialto. It is not raining yet, but I can tell it's coming because my internet keeps on going out on me. So I'm not even sure if you can hear me right now, but seeing as how I can see you all, I think we're good so far.
We can hear you well. We can hear you well, so we're good. Thanks, Stacy. All right, Louise Cummings.
Hi, I'm in Palm Desert. It's sunny with a few light clouds, but the Quinta is right next to us, so I don't know quite what's going on, except that we're in a little sun enclave here. It's nice.
It's probably a beautiful day out there. Oh, I can imagine. Big clouds. All right. Thank you so much, Louise. Chris.
Hi, everyone. I'm Chris. I'm coming from Chino Hills. It's just a bit cloudy right now. I mean, it's just a bit damp outside, but it doesn't look like it'll rain. So, yeah, my internet's been a bit spotty today, too. So I'm not sure if you can hear me, but yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you for joining us, Chris. Thank you. Thank you. Sue Walker, where are you today?
Hi, I'm in Lake Arrowhead and it's raining lightly. And that's it.
Excellent. 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 Margaret Spencer, did we ever get you? Okay, let's see here. Let's go back to Dr. Okay, I hope I pronounce it right. Dr. Jarnet. The accent's on the end. Jarnet? I said it wrong. I know I did. Dr. Jarnet Graham. We'll come back to you. Alexander Leon.
Hello, I apologize for not turning on my screen. I'm trying to multitask and I'm also in another meeting, so I'm trying my best. But I'm also here from Riverside. We haven't gotten any rain yet, or at least not where I am. I actually love the rain, so I'm waiting for it. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for hosting this. I really truly appreciate it. I'm kind of new to grant writing, so I really appreciate this.
Excellent. We'll keep it up. Very, very good. Very, very good. Nani Kleinhounds.
There we go. I need to unmute. I'm in Redlands.
Redlands.
Yeah.
And is it raining?
Not yet. Not that I've seen.
Okay. We're all expecting it. We're all waiting. Thank you so much, Nani. Destiny Johnson. Destiny, are you there? Okay, let's try McKenna.
Hello. I apologize for not always being available. I'm also multitasking and answering phones at our office, but I am in Riverside as well, and it is not raining, but I am hoping it will start soon.
We all are. We all love it. We're excited. And Victoria Dawson from FSA. All right, now, and I just want clarification. Is this FSA as in Moreno Valley? Victoria, are you there?
Come back from lunch.
Okay, and Susie, do you know if that's FSA Moreno Valley?
I think it's Riverside.
Okay, excellent. Erin Wiley.
Hi there.
Hello.
I put my camera on. I'm in Lake Arrowhead too.
Oh my
Got
God.
a lot of Lake Arrowhead people, and I'm up by the village, and I will tell you that parts of trees are falling on my patio, so it's coming.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Be safe is right. I heard only 55-mile-per-hour winds today, which like we can handle that.
This is supposed to be a view of the lake, but you see there's no lake there. It's just socked in.
But it's beautiful. It's beautiful. All right, Janice Hinton, are you there?
Hello, good afternoon. Yes, I'm in Yucaipa, and so far just some light sprinkling.
Excellent. Okay. All right. Leanna Olmedo. Leanna, are you there? All right. Let's try Gina Haymond.
Hello. Yes, I am in Rialto. And it is coming down. And actually for Stacy and Barbara, it is coming your way because I know you're in Rialto, but I'm the northern part of Rialto, borderline Lido Creek. So yes, it is raining here.
Oh, wow. Okay. This should we stay away from Lido Creek. All right. And last but not least, Palisa Sykes.
Hi, yes, I'm in Riverside and it has not started raining yet, but it is very cloudy.
Okay, so tell you what, excellent. So guys, I think we have, it's not come here yet, but if you watched football yesterday, you know it's on its way. So now what I'd like to do is actually, I'm going to take volunteers. I'd like you to, if you can, as we talked about, I'm going to go back to sharing the screen here. What I'd like you to do is think about what impact, an example that your organization's impact in the community. So who would like to share something? We've already had IECC. Anyone else like to share? Because if not, I'll call on you.
Someone had a question too and had their hand raised. I just want to make sure we acknowledge that before we move on.
Yes, please.
I think it was
it's me. It's Destiny Johnson. I was having some mic issues when you called on me.
Excellent. So Destiny, where are you and is it raining?
I am in Vallejo, California, Northern California, and yes, it is coming down so hard.
Oh, Destiny, you had yesterday, I think, an historic day as far as the water up there. Am I correct? Yeah.
Yes.
I understand that Sacramento got 5 inches of rain in 24 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, Claudia Montoya is with us. And Claudia, was it raining buckets up there?
Yeah, we dropped from Reno to Sacramento, and it was very hard. Yeah, it was raining all day, like 24 hours, I think.
Oh my gosh.
And very heavy.
And Sarah Marshall, you are in Central Coast area, correct?
Yes, I'm in Watsonville, Santa Cruz, and the rain came really hard yesterday, but now the sun is shining and it's beautiful blue out. So I'm not sure what to expect next, but it's been exciting.
You know, and it shows you how little rain we get here when everyone gets so excited over like 10 hours of rain. So so enjoy it, people, enjoy it. And thank you for the Destiny, thank you for that. Claudia, thank you for that. Sarah, and by the way, Sarah Marshall is the one I was talking about as far as evaluation. This section here, I just kind of want to do an impact, or excuse me, a little kind of reframing of impact, because we kind of flew over program evaluation. So I really want you to think about, you're in this business for a reason. It's to make a difference. You're in the nonprofit sector to make a difference. When we talked about the IECC, one of the ways they can show the impact is by the dollars that the member organizations through trainings have brought into the region. As I mentioned with the Cal State Reentry Initiative, one is to reduce recidivism, to reduce the number of victims of crime. So I want you to think about your organization and tell us why you're here. What impact does your organization make on the community? Who would like to share? Who would like to jump in? I'm going to take this screen share so I can look at your faces. Anyone? Here's some
hands are raised. Anne has her hand raised and Marilyn has her hand raised.
Excellent. Anne, why don't you hit it? And then we'll go to Marilyn. Thank you, guys. Anne.
Well, I hope I don't take the thunder. Well, no pun intended.
No, you do it.
Yeah, from Marilyn or Sarah, but I think one avenue, I don't know if we can attach this to any proposal, but we have student video reflections. And I think that would be powerful to show how much that what we do as an organization impacts their lives.
So students, so it's that their testimonials.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yes.
So it may not be that they increased a GPA. It may not be that they scored higher on the SAT. It may be something that's more qualitative to them. They increase their confidence, perhaps. Things like that.
There you go.
Very good. Very good. Excellent. Marilyn, did she steal yours?
A little bit, but I'm glad because, she's actually the chairperson for our AVID program. But, with these videos, I mean, we're able to see students that were just average students. And after spending, 2 or 3 years in the AVID program, they become, high GPA. They are able to not register, but apply to a number of colleges and universities and get acceptance from, numerous institutions. And so, one thing that we really do is use the media. And because we are small communities and have, basically 2 newspapers, that we're able to utilize that. And luckily, one of the editors is on our board, but we're able to put it in print. And I think moving forward, that print will be able to be attached to the grants to actually show the progress we've made.
And Marilyn, you bring up a good point. Always save, anytime you're mentioned in a positive light in the newspaper, always save those, because oftentimes funders like Kaiser, I believe is one, they always want to know if you made the paper for any reason. And this is all that's always a good thing. If you make the paper for a bad thing, just don't mention it.
And one thing we could do better in the future is finding out what's happened with our students after they've left the mountain and gone to university, is greater feedback. So that's something I'm putting in my notes here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Marilyn. Susie Gomez.
Amari had her hand up, so I want to make sure she had something to add or not, or she intentionally put her hand down.
Excellent. Amari, are you there?
I'm here. No, I'm ready to share a little bit too.
Please.
So, so our group, I think we show our impact best by our resilience and our advocacy. So we talk a lot too. We work with these, with middle school and high school aged girls, on building their resilience and self-love within themselves. And I've seen I would like to say that it's being seen on a bigger platform, because we hear back from the district and we're invited back to come and do more work. But through our students, we see that their self-confidence is boosted so much that they're not as anxious about work. They're doing better in their schoolwork. Their GPAs are going up. And although that wasn't, that was part of our goal, I saw much more of this in the past year when I was able to, we were doing things via Skype and I wasn't able to meet with my girls in person. But really like watching their anxiety just lessen and them being able to work with each other more on a different platform than just being in person.
Now, Amari, are you doing in pre and post surveys as well?
We are.
Excellent.
I was actually listening to what you were saying about data earlier, and I think that like I think we need to do a better job at deciding exactly what we want to pull that data from and how we can better address those questions, so we're making sure that we're getting the right data back. But I like that you touched on that.
Very good, very good, very good. Anyone else like to share? Anyone? How about, let's see, I'm gonna call on a couple people. Let's see here. How about Juanita, are you there? Because I'd love to hear about the Autism Society and how you are showing that you're impacting your population or the community.
Hi, yeah, I'm here. Sorry to me. I'm multitasking as well, so I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Big day. Yeah. I think one of the things that I'm probably most proud of this year is our social recreation and social emotional well-being support that we've been able to kind of touch on. Individuals with autism already have a really hard time with isolation and establishing connections and friendships. So we've actually been able to reach a lot of our population through Zoom, and we're considering, even when we go back in person, like what is that going to look like, and should we continue to do this, because our numbers have jumped substantially. I mean, we were doing 9 in-person events before COVID, and we jumped to 35 programs a month. And our numbers, like I said, just tripled. And that mental health piece for us and for our population has been such a big piece during this time of COVID. So and we've heard lots of great feedback from our families, and some of our impact data that we get also is from our surveys and testimonials and the stories from our families. So yeah, it's been great. And I'm sort of new to Autism Society Inland Empire, but I'm here in the desert. So yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Because I think this is also important, and it's just to really think about, we can go through all the different parts of a proposal, but again, just to remember the impact you are having, your organization is having. A proposal, all that does is tell the funder that. It's basically all the things you just mentioned, it's putting it in writing. So I just want to say thank you for that, and thank you for what you're doing. So now we're going to move on to describing the organization's capacity. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to my share the screen, and if it starts, if trees start crashing, please let us know up there in the mountains. Okay, we worry about you guys up there. All right. Oh, come on. Let's see here. Okay, now we're going to go into the capacity of the organization. Come on, give me an option. There we go. Come on.
And
okay,
sorry, really, I'm gonna interrupt you really quickly because I think Sarah Marshall might have to step off. And just so if she wanted to add anything on evaluation. So Sarah is also an evaluator now for IACC, which we never really had before, and we're super excited about having her wisdom and impact for us as we move forward. Like you were saying, when we started small, our ideas of how we were going to measure our impact were, we were just number of organizations who took classes with us. And now, we really want to be able to tell our story a lot better. And, we met Sarah, and she's extraordinary evaluator and facilitator. So Sarah, if you would like to just add anything around that, that's why we had to invite you in. If you could share something with the group, we'd appreciate it.
Oh, that was very kind. I really enjoyed hearing how folks are gathering information and how you're telling that story of impact. I was taking notes as folks were talking just because it seems like you all have some innovative ways that you're collecting information. My heart always is interested in those stories, the testimonies, and what people have to say. But as an evaluator, I also look to quantitative data as well and encourage folks to do the best job that they can in just counting what they're doing, their basic service counts, doing some surveying, and then yes, really getting that story of change. For me personally, as an evaluator or as a consultant, I really look for evidence of system change and try to see my part in it. So that's how I personally evaluate myself. And I'm looking for that, also looking for quality in service. So that's another set of metrics that it sounds like many of you are using as well. Just what's the quality of our services? What do people say about us? How satisfied are people? So I think all of that comes together to create a comprehensive picture of impact. And again, we can focus on aspects of it, but for me, again, that's I like to tell the big picture story, and so that's where I look for data. And I'm really excited to be working with the IECC, perhaps learning from some of you, following up to find out what this meant to you and if you had any specific successes or insights as a result of your participation in events like this.
So Sarah's the one who designed the evaluation tool that you guys are going to take at the end. So as part of measuring, was this webinar impactful for you or not? And it's an example of how we're going to use data to be able to tell our story after it's, all these webinars are done. And also respond back to our funder who gave us the money to do this. So thank you, Sarah Marshall.
And I sent Susie a chat that says we need to have Sarah do a whole session on evaluation because it's hard. It's evaluation, unless you have a person like Sarah Marshall, it's hard. So I just wanted to say we need her to do one. All right, Sarah, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Okay, now we're going to talk about your organization and describing your capacity. It's important to know that for the funder to know that you are there to accomplish what you say you're going to accomplish. You also, and with that, sorry about that, with that, the funder needs to know that you have the capacity to implement what you say you're going to implement. There's many ways to describe that. Of course, annual operating budget is one, but just because you may have a small annual operating budget, you probably have a lot of other things going for you that the funder would like to know. Let me go through this, click through it. Okay, let's see here. All right, organizational capacity. Sorry about that. I have a twitchy finger here. Come on. Ay, ay, ay. All right. So basically, when you're describing your organizational capacity, you want to have the funder, again, know about your stability, your capability, and your competency, the competency of your organization and partnering organizations. You want to talk about how long you've been in the community, how long you've been providing quality services, who's on your board perhaps is a good indicator. The number of years of experience, your executive director, awards that are mentioned. This is where you want to show the funder that you're a very strong, good risk. Because again, funders are investing in your organization. So things like that, you want to focus on your organizational background, your structure. If you have your executive leadership structure, that you have a breakdown, that you have the executive director, maybe you have a chief operating officer or someone who's handling operations, you have somebody or a group handling your finance. You want to make sure that you're not having one person do everything because there's no checks and balances. You want to talk about a brief summary of your programs, maybe how you've expanded, maybe how you have grown from an all volunteer organization to now an organization that's 300,000 annual operating budget or whatever your annual operating budget is with X number of employees. You want to talk about any grant awards that you've received, managed, and successfully closed out. If you've received any government grants, you throw it in here, because government grants are held to a very high level of, there's a high level of scrutiny. You want to talk a bit about your mission and history, especially if they ask you specifically, describe your mission and your history, then you say it. You want to talk about the geographic area served. If you've expanded from one shop in Victorville to serving all the high desert, or one location in Indio, and then you're serving from Mecca to Palm Springs. You want to describe your growth. Any recent accomplishments, any new grant awards, any awards in general. Also, special qualifications or certifications. If you are in the mental health arena and you have, you know, a PhD in psychiatry or psychology, excuse me, then you may want to mention that. If you have any MDs, if you have LCSWs, anybody that is, if it comes to certifications required to implement a program, you want to mention those there as well. Okay, so again, key staff and volunteers. This is where you want to talk. This is where you often see, you know, that the leadership has, collectively, the leadership has, you know, 300 years of experience in whatever subject area you're working in. You want to talk about their educational backgrounds. Volunteers are also really important. If you're a very small organization, largely volunteer run, mention your volunteers. Volunteers are golden because they're volunteering their time. They're not getting paid for this. They're doing it because they're passionate about this. Mention your volunteers. This is where tracking the volunteer hours is also very, very helpful. So if you could, I think now, so before we do this, any questions on your organizational capacity? Because we're going to do a new little activity. Are we not, Brian?
Yes.
We are. Any questions before we move on to something that's very important? A quiz, perhaps. All right, I'm going to turn over to our master of game show, Brian Romo.
Right, is making me log in. So give me just a second. I had it up and ready, and then it kicked me out.
It happens
all the time. It's loading. The internet here is kind of slow too, so I'm kind of, okay, start game. It'll be here one day. There we go. Okay, so we're going to do another Kahoot, but this time it's going to be a little different. So the way that it's going to work is Andrea's going to have some questions for you. It's going to sound fun and funky, but we're going to talk kind of through different things that she adds. That's really loud for me. Okay. So let's go ahead and hit start. Oh, I should hit share first. That'll be helpful. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and do what we did before. So go ahead and open up your web browser. We're going to go to kahoot.it, and the new game pin for this is going to be 5982172, and it's right here at the top of your screen.
Yoli, you know, everyone's gunning for you now. Everyone's going, we got to beat Yoli, right?
I'm going to let someone else win.
No!
I think the way we designed this one, I don't think there's points in this one.
Oh, man.
Yeah. It's fine. We'll still have fun. We'll get to see what everyone's answer.
Everyone's the winner, right?
So we got 15 people, 16 people in.
You can also play on your phone. So it's easier than trying to do 2 screens and your Zoom screen and your other one. You could just play on your phone. That's easier too.
That's a good idea.
So let's give people a few more seconds to kind of get in there. All right, so I'll go ahead and preface this before we start. So there's some questions that Andrea wanted to talk through with everyone, kind of get everyone's input. So you'll have about 1.5 minutes on the first question and on the second question to put in different responses to the questions that we're asking. So you're allowed up to 3 responses, and each response, oh, Maurice is yelling at me. Each response will have a character limit. So you'll see the limit right above the box that you're typing in. So just make sure you stay within that. Hit enter to submit one, type out a second one, hit enter, and then you can do that up to 3 times. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to brainstorm together. So place in the chat or right here in Zoom. So write 1 or 2 things that you would use to describe the capacity of your organization. And so you should have a box in your window that you opened up, and go ahead and type right into that box. And as people submit things, you'll see them pop up on the screen. So if you want to give any extra input on this, Andrea, you can go ahead.
Yep. So what are some things that you would mention in your organizational description, in your organizational capacity? Sue Walker wrote here, diversity of skills. That would be great. We mentioned things like, which I don't want to, like the strength of the board, volunteer hours. What are some of the things that you would use to describe how good your organization is and how you can manage that grant? Got 9 answers. Keep going, guys. Good job. You have up to 3, so use them. Got 23 seconds left.
So you can see it start to populate here. We're almost at the 10-second mark. And then they will all reveal as soon as everyone's done. All righty, sorting out.
Maurice?
It's Maurice. I'm house sitting and there's a cat and he loves yelling at me. All right. So here are all of the different submissions that were placed. Let me minimize everyone so I can see as well.
Excellent. I love it.
And you're able to see these 2 right under?
Yeah, yep,
Okay.
kind of, sort of. It seems small. Let me see if let me just go view standard. Let's try that. Okay, good. Excellent. So we have some follow through. So we have some infrastructure or business practice, mission and history, good. Testimonial certifications, excellent. Professional designations, expansion, hands-on professionals, passionate staff, the strengths of the staff, government grants received, yay. Diverse funding streams is wonderful. If you can talk about that, that, especially when it comes to donors, if you have a large donor base, mention that because they will stick with you, usually through thick and thin. Excellent. The budget, the staff strengths, very good. Population served, social service, trusted partner in the community. Partnerships are really important to mention. Accomplishments and awards, very good. Knowledge and education, years in existence, awards, different awards, newspaper articles, excellent. Board members, diverse board, diversity is big. Officer degrees, we are community collaboration, so that shows strength in collaborating. Provides 5 shows, so a number of shows, multiple volunteer potential, interactive board members, 8 distinct communities, excellent. All of those things, 18-person board, excellent. All those things should be mentioned. This is good. This is where you get a chance to praise your own organization, to kind of tout it a bit. Very good. Good job. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Brian, for that. I appreciate that greatly.
So I will say we in the same Kahoot, there's going to be one more question in a bit. And so just go ahead and keep your windows open. Don't close them, but we will come back to it.
Thank you, Brian. Love Kahoot. Okay. All right. So now we're going to talk a bit about the dreaded sustainability plan. And the reason I say it's dreaded, because the truth of it is, the sustainability for a grant is to go back and ask that funder for money again, and that will sustain the program. We all know that. But that being said, it's not the right answer. So now we've covered, just to recap, we've covered the need statement. We've covered that it's an evidence-based program. We've covered the program design. We've covered your organizational capacity. Now we're going to talk about sustainability. These are all different components of proposals. The truth of it is that, again, you're going to go back and ask that same funder for funding. But that's not the right answer, because you need to come up with diversified funding streams and other ways to continue this program once the funding goes away. So they're looking for specific strategies. So you can write in there. Frequently, I write in there other funders that I'm going to pursue to continue funding for this grant. That's quite acceptable. But now make sure that you do ask those other funders for funding, because they talk to each other. Funders talk to each other. And if they say, well, I'm considering funding this, they say they're going to ask you, to continue funding once it's been funded. Have you talked to them? And they say, who? That's not good. That's not good at all. You need to do what you say you're doing. So you may want to list specific funders, again, only if you are pursuing funding through them, but you're also going to want to talk about your other fundraising efforts. So you may want to mention things like, do you have a plan for a fee for service component? That's really important. I think oftentimes organizations don't consider a fee for service component. And what I mean by fee for service is, I'll give you an example. There was an organization that provides after school programming to children who are living in low income or living in poverty in the Orange County area. And that shall remain nameless. And when I was doing some work for them, I said, so let's talk about your sustainability plan. They were going for some substantial state grants for after school enrichment. And they said, oh, we have the Robin Hood method of sustainability. I said, excuse me, Robin Hood, the last thing I know is Robin Hood steals from the rich and gives to the poor. He goes, well, yeah. What our plan is, and what we do is, we provide after school programming in wealthy areas for a fee to parents who want to have their kids in enrichment programs in wealthy communities. And we use that funding to pay for the low income programs, which makes sense. So provide a fee for service to wealthy parents who want their kids in after school programming to augment or supplement funding for the lower income communities. Another fee for service model might be, for instance, Goodwill Southern California. They have thrift stores, right? They use the funding from thrift stores to pay for training programs. So you should really think about developing a fee for service type program. Counseling, tutoring, etc. Do you have a strong donor base? If you have a strong donor base, really mention that, because funders know, again, as I said, donors stick with you come thick or thin times. And the ideal percentage would be like 33% private donations, 33% government grants, 33% foundation grants. But you should definitely mention your donor base. Special events. Gotta love those golf tournaments. Gotta love those special events, and you should definitely mention those as well. Also, just having a development plan and a development committee says something to the funder. So these are things that you should mention in your sustainability plan. If you, again, don't write, we plan on coming back to you for more funding. Don't. write that, even though you will. And hopefully they'll say, we'd like to continue funding. That's the goal. More and more funders, and Susie, you can chime in here, more and more funders are realizing that 1 year funding doesn't do diddly, that they're looking for multi-years of funding. Susie, would you like to say something about that?
Yeah, I mean, and I'm sure some of you also are kind of aware of that, most notably with COVID, right? You're seeing some of the larger foundations, especially here in California, like the California Endowment, the Weingart, which had been a multi-year funder, but some other ones now that are moving towards even 3 to 5 year grant cycles, grant periods for organizations. They're actually calling it, instead of grantees, the Weingart Foundation is now calling those organizations that they want to have long-standing relationships with, or funding relations with, core partners is now what they're calling us, so that it's not even going to be held to a 6-year period or 5-year period. It potentially could be longer if the work you're kind of doing takes longer than that. So work around system change, and as Andrea said early on, around kind of ecosystem kind of ideas, that you're not just doing service delivery, like I'm not just doing something, but I want to change the way in our region we are outreaching or partnering with each other. They're willing to invest in that, and they're willing to do it on the long term, because it takes longer to do that kind of work than it does to do, provide, 2,000 baskets of food or something like that, or yeah.
Yep. So any questions on sustainability plan? And I want you to think about your organization. What are some things that you're doing to sustain your organization beyond grant funding? So I think we have Brian, possibly another Kahoot. I'm going to stop sharing.
Yes, we have one more. So let me go ahead and share that. It always drops into the smallest window. Okay. All right, so again, in the chat or right here on Kahoot, so one key strategy you will use to reflect your sustainability plan in a proposal.
So think about the things I just mentioned and think about your organization. And what is one thing, at least one thing you will mention in your sustainability plan?
You still have up to 3, but at least one.
At least one, but you can do 3. You don't get cute music, huh, Brian? Where's Maurice? He can sing to us.
Oh, he just woke up from a nap, so he likes yelling at me right when he wakes up.
He wants some food.
For pets, and I cannot pet him because I'm allergic to him. So he gets upset.
Poor Maurice. And he's a senior, is he not?
He's old, so he's got a little limp and everything too, so I feel so bad that I can't pet him. I'll try to, but then I'll just go and wash my hands immediately.
Poor Maurice.
So we have 10 answers up on the board. We have about 20 seconds left. So again, what is one of those key strategies you will use to reflect your sustainability plan in a proposal? 10 seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Here we go.
We're done. So let's go ahead and see, sorting out the ideas here. All right, and the reveal.
Excellent. List other partners. Very good. Because other partners show the funders that you play well in the sandbox. And that also you can work together on proposals. Other grants awarded, other resources, list other funders, donor base, excellent. Fundraising plan, diversity of funding, fee for service. Yes. Plan an event. Yes. Golf tournaments. Number of years the foundation has been around. Excellent. Event. Robin Hood method. Oh no, it's been written down. Mention the financial implications, grants and donations, child roles and plays as parents, ensure that there are child roles and plays as parents are required to volunteer. Volunteering, very good. Major annual fundraiser, excellent. Autism Walk, very good. And you guys, for some reason, this is excellent job. Very good. Thank you very much, Brian. Thank you. Sustainability is, that is for some reason really hard for me to write. It's just, I always put that off to the last minute. But if you get a good one, you can just modify it as needed. So just work on the sustainability, because you can use it again and again and again with slight variations per funder. So thank you for that. Okay, so now we are going to go back to the PowerPoint, and we are going to move in to the next topic, which is, I believe, bring it all together. Let's see here. Okay. All right, let's see here. All right, the structure. So we've covered the main parts of the proposal. We've covered evaluation, we've covered the need statement, we've covered evidence-based, we've covered the program design, we've covered evaluation, goals and objectives, evaluation, and sustainability. Okay, we've covered all those things. Now, how do you kind of like pull it all together? You just start. You just start, because the hardest thing is just starting. This is kind of like me sometimes. Sometimes it's just easier just to sit there with your hands on the computer and just not start. Okay, that is called paralysis by analysis. It happens all the time. I've been doing this for 15 years, and I still just sometimes put it off and put it off and put it off till my back's against the wall, because I don't know the content. I'm unsure of the program design, just because. And sometimes you just have to start. So start with what you feel most comfortable with. I oftentimes start with the needs, because I have some of it already written, and it's something to get me going. It's something I can Google. I can research unemployment in the high desert. I can research evidence-based programs in workforce development or something like that. I can research best practice, or I can research social determinants of health in the Coachella Valley. It's something that's meaty. I can just sit and do the research and start then copying and pasting into a document, so I'll know where the information is coming from. Then I can reword it. Start with something you feel comfortable. If you're comfortable writing about your organization, start with capacity. If you're comfortable writing about your board, your executive director, the program, start with the capacity. If you know the program, if you're a program person, start drafting that program design. If you know evaluation, boy, gotta love ya. Start working on what the evaluation is. That's sometimes hard, because you kind of have to know what's going on before that. Sustainability, if you feel comfortable with sustainability, again, God bless you, write about sustainability, but start with something that you feel the most comfortable. Okay, the types of proposals. There's all different types of proposals. There are letters of intent, which I'm actually, if you stay to the end, you'll get a template for it. There's a letter of intent or interest or inquiry, LOI, which are usually very brief. It's something to get your foot in the door. Caution on that, though. As I said earlier, if you write a cold letter of intent to a foundation that doesn't know you, there is very little chance that you'll get funded. This is where you would have to develop a relationship with the program officer, and then you up your chances. Most foundations are now looking for applications to be done online. Very different than an LOI, but usually has the same kind of content, but they're character limited, and meaning that you may get spaces, you may not get spaces, but sometimes they describe your organization's history in 100 characters. Like, we opened our doors, boom, we're done. So you have to be very careful. My suggestion, put it into a Word document, make sure you have the right number of characters, so then you can paste it into the application. Short proposals, sometimes up to 5 pages. Again, usually a pretty specific format. Oftentimes you'll go from a letter of intent to a short proposal. They'll invite you, or a letter of intent to a long proposal, which is a little bit longer. Then there's the famous government proposals, the feds, the state, which are generally very long and very specific and detailed. Start off with the LOI or the application. There's no reason to tackle a government proposal right off the bat. Okay, this is the components of most proposals. Now, this is generally what they're looking for. They will generally tell you in the request for proposal or in the funding guidelines, the proposal guidelines, but this is generally the area in order of what you want to put in your proposal. We've covered most of these. The only thing we haven't covered is the introduction. And the introduction usually gives them, it's kind of like when you're writing when you were in middle school and you were writing a 5-paragraph essay where you're going to tell them what you're going to tell them. And then at the end, tell them what you've told them. So the intro is tell them, get the hook, tell them what you're going to tell them. At the end, it's tell them what you told them. The intro is the very beginning. Then you cover the organizational background, the statement of need, the program design. Oops, different order here. Oh, okay. What's going on here? All right, it'll come up. 5 will come up eventually. There we go. Goals, objectives, and outcomes. Then you cover the evaluation, how you're going to evaluate those goals and objectives. We've covered all these things. We haven't covered budget. That's a whole different topic. That's a whole different training session. Sustainability, and then you close and tell them what you told them and thank them. Those are the basic components of any proposal. Just the size and the details vary depending upon the proposal. All right, I'm going to stop for a second. Questions, because you now have technically learned everything that goes into proposals minus the budget. Does anybody have any questions? Any questions in chat? Yes, I'm ready.
How can you, I don't know how to phrase this, because how can you ask them or make them invite you? Not make them, but I don't know how to explain it. Like, I want them to be like, oh, we invite you to come and submit an LOI, or we invite you to submit something. So how can I get there?
I'll start off and then I'm going to turn over to the IECC team. But oftentimes, usually it's because they know you, you are present. They know you by maybe your previous work with other funders. They know of your work within the community, that you've networked well, but oftentimes they'll know you because of other funders. Now, generally, though, it takes a lot of courtship. It's the courtship of funders. And I'll give you an example. This was a long time ago, though. This was before the city of San Bernardino went through bankruptcy. So that was a long time ago. But I was working with the city of San Bernardino, and it was on a gang reduction program. And because we attended some get to know the funders, some of those when we were meeting in person, where the California Endowment took an interest in the city of San Bernardino. They had kind of an innovative program. So then we just started talking to them. They said, we'd like to have you submit an application or an LOI. We did that. And then we went back and forth with the program officer because each time they wanted to change it a little bit. This went on for almost 2 years. And we went through probably 3 program officers. And then I think the city went through bankruptcy. So that was the end of that. But it took really a courtship. So we did get invited that way. Susie has had quite a bit of luck, and not luck. She has been skillful, and she's such a strong networker. Susie, you want to tell them a little bit about how you get invited to apply?
It's been a long. It takes a while, to be very candid, like Andrea said. I'm trying to remember early on. I remember one of the first ones for me was UPS. And it was like early on when I wasn't even with IECC. It was when I was with another organization. And I remember I kept thinking, oh, how do you become, like, how do you get invited to UPS, or some of those ones, just like you guys are asking, how do you do that? So I remember we had an event, a big, Christmas food drive, and I went to UPS website and I looked that they have volunteers, right? They have their employees become volunteers. And so I said, hey, I'll just post, hey, would you like to help with putting Christmas baskets together? And then suddenly one year it was like 10 of them. And then the next year there were like 25 UPS workers. And then suddenly they picked us every year to do, and then we got on their list. Like UPS would be kind of like United Way. if you got on their list for their employees, you could be one of the nonprofits that their staff would donate every month. Here you now have one-on-one donors. So the cultivation started with, they were volunteers. I never asked them for foundation funding first, right? Then came one-on-one donors. Now we had 87 staff that every month would give money to us, coming from volunteers, right? Here comes the guy from HR who says, oh, everybody loves that event, you know, whatever it is, you know, but we have to do some service things, our management. If you have places on your board, right? UPS, you know, regional manager wants to sit on our board. That's how we got the invitation to apply for their national foundation funding, right? And so it altogether was maybe almost 5 years by the time we got money, right? From the time they started volunteering to the time they became one-on-one and all the rest. So that's kind of the long one, but some of the others, as Andrea alluded to, it is really, they'll start you off at a small amount, a grant. You know, it depends on who the funder is, and you just have to be a really good steward of those dollars. And you have to be letting them know and keeping them up to date throughout. It doesn't mean you get the money and then you just say goodbye to them in a year. It means that you're talking to them for the year, right? And they know you. And also to the point that Andrea said around, they all know each other. I just got invited for a grant because another funder recommended them to us to invite, and they are an invitation only foundation, right? Rather large one. They knew about us, but they never funded us. But because of two other recommendations from two other large funders who do fund us, we got invited. So it does take a while, but it really is the relationships you build with them that leads to the, you know, potential of being invited.
Yep. And I think, Susie, it is important that the first grant you receive is, even though maybe $10,000, it may be very small, to manage that well, to stay in frequent communication with, to thank that funder, to really be respectful and partner with that funder is so important, because that $10,000 might be 25 the next time, might be 100,000 after that, because they have invested in you. If you think about it, the program officers, I would never, at first I thought, gosh, it'd be great to be a program officer of a foundation. It'd be so much fun. You're giving money, woo, right? What fun. The pressure. When I started seeing such a turnover at some of these foundations, I got a chance once to ask a program officer, I'm like, why have you had 3 program officers in 2 years? The pressure, because they are responsible to the board for your outcomes. They have to report back on why they recommended you to get funding. So they're banking on you doing good by them. It's just, so the pressure is pretty amazing. So I think that was a long answer on my part to your short question, but I hope that was clear. It's all relationships.
That was great. That actually helped me quite a bit. Thank you, Susan and Andrea.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Myra, for caring about things as well.
Andrea, there's a question in the chat from Sue regarding, could you explain the differences between objectives and outcomes again?
Sure. Objectives are tangible. Again, they're SMART. They're specific, measurable, achievable, attainable, whatever, results oriented, time bound. So they are things like, you know, after completing a class in whatever, the participant will achieve whatever by whenever. Okay, so it's telling them kind of exactly what you're doing in with very specific. You're saying what the participants participating in, what they're doing, how long it's going to take, how you're going to know you achieved it. Outcomes are things like obtain employment and how can I put this? Actually, how about this? Increase. No, that'd be the same thing. So increase the economic stability. So it's more, okay. Let's see here. The goals are overarching: improve quality of life, The objectives would be very specific as to your program. The outcomes would be increase employment or achieve family sustaining wage. So when it comes to level of complexity, it would be the goals are the biggest and less specific. Then you would go to your outcomes, then it would go to your objectives. So objectives are very specific. Outcomes are more like they've improved their quality of life by obtaining a job. They could also improve their quality of life by becoming more healthy. So there's different, did that answer your question? Or did it confuse it even more? Or Sarah Marshall, her camera just came on. So she might be able to explain it even better.
Maybe or maybe not. I think it's really helpful to look at the examples that they give you in the grant because there are different ways that we operationalize these definitions. So it's always good just to see how do they talk about objectives and how do they talk about outcomes. But one of the ways that I think about it is often as you were just describing, Andrea, the goal is kind of the big picture. The objective is something specific and measurable, but it's really related to your process. So maybe you might say an objective is the IECC will complete 4 workshops by December 31st. So it's taking that big goal and it's breaking it into something really specific and measurable, almost something you could cross off a list. But an outcome might be something more like participants will have gained knowledge and skills in grant writing. So we also want to be able to measure that outcome as well. But that's often how I separate them. Like the objective is something you could like mark off. You've done it, it's completed, and an outcome is something that we're aspiring to, and we might measure progress toward.
Very good. Short and long term. That's the way to look at it. So when you're looking at an outcome is something that you'll have a short-term outcome and a long-term outcome. An objective is more like task or activity oriented. And I now I have a visual that I could put in the slide and make it even better. Yeah.
Andrea.
Yes.
Maybe we can think about this with an example. I'm not sure if this is clear, but for example, if you have a workshop that you would like to help people to write their resume or be prepared for interviews, things like that, you create several workshops. Yep. Maybe your objective could be people will attend to a number of workshops by this time, and your outcome could be they will get an interview or 2 interviews.
Right. Yeah, and that'd be your short-term outcome. Your long-term outcome would be that they get a job.
Okay.
Yep. You got it.
And just to make it more complicated, which we've talked about it is talking about, if you haven't heard it, logic model before, but many of you probably have. And we talked about this, me and Andrea, before we started doing this, is thinking, honestly, we should just do one, like a whole webinar just on how to write a really good logic model, right? Because a lot of some even funders make you actually submit a logic model for your project. So, and that would kind of define all these, components that we're just talking about right now.
Yeah. I think Sarah's smiling, so I think she's like hook, line, and sinker.
That's fun. Yes.
Yeah. Did that help?
Yes, thank you very much.
Well, good. I'm glad it helped because I got even more confused. So thank you. Any other questions? Okay, let's move on then. All right. So I want to address some key issues because these are all things I have been fortunate enough to be an evaluator of proposals for funding, and also of some other classes that have been taught to look at their students' proposals. And some key things, please use these as thou shalt not. Okay. So the first thing is answer the question. If there is a question that the funder is asking, copy that, put it into a Word document. Make sure you answer that question, period. If they ask you, what is your organization's mission statement? Do not go into, this is so frequent, do not go into the history of the organization. Put what your mission statement is. If they give you 500 characters and your mission statement is 60, it's okay. You don't have to fill space. They'd rather have you answer the 60. That's it. Just put your mission statement in. Later on, you can describe your history when you talk about your organizational background, but don't combine it. Put your mission in. Not answering the so what question. So again, when you're talking about the needs, make sure you address the, so why are we doing this? What are the needs? Make sure you answer. When you're doing your needs statement, your program addresses what those needs are. So you may not, say you're doing a program on obesity in children. You can then talk about poverty because that does relate directly to obesity, but don't talk about things like, you could even talk about education, the education level, because that also, there is a social determinant there. But again, mention those things, but don't go off on a tangent to describe everything in the community, the lack of arts in the community, the lack of other things. Just make sure you address what the needs are. Unclear goals and objectives. That's an obvious one. So again, use quantitative measures in your objectives. Numbers is very specific. And as Sarah said, things you can check off. Poor program design. Again, the funder should be able to follow what you're going to be doing. Be able to picture it, to visualize it. If you're allowed to put in a graphic, it's always helpful. Oh my word, sloppy writing. Please, 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 please. I have made mistakes. I've had typos, but rarely. This is something that's really important. The funder needs to know that you are able to use correct grammar, that you've used spell check. It is amazing the errors that can be seen. Have somebody who doesn't know your program read it. Have somebody else read it, because oftentimes you have read something, you've written it, and you just gloss over some frequent mistakes. That is common. Bad budgets that don't align with program design. Just make sure again that you're addressing all the things in the budget, or in the budget that has been proposed in the program design. And this is something, by the way, that talking to several funders in this area who shall remain nameless, this is one thing that they see all the time. And this is one that all of us apply to. So just be careful in approaching local funders with your budgets. Just make sure that they're good. This is something too, using the same words that the funders use. When the funders are saying, say they use the word teens, don't use the word adolescents. Use the word teens. If they're saying, if the funder is using workforce development, don't put employment development, put workforce development. Sometimes, and the reason being is sometimes they'll have a person who has no knowledge of the content area, give them a checklist and say, did this person address all these things? And if they don't see the same words, you'll get scanned out. You'll get thrown out. So use the exact same words the funders use in describing the population or whatever else, the methodology. Terminology is very important. And things can mean different things to certain people, even though you may not think they do. Not putting information, oh, yes, yes, yes. Don't make the funders fish for your information. If they give you a specific format, put it in that format and bold what they're looking for. So if they have, they may not have the word needs assessment. Say they may, another thing may be community needs. Don't put needs assessment, put community needs and bold it, and then answer the questions below that. A tip may be if the funder has floated a request for proposal, an RFP, and they tell you specifically what to put in your proposal, copy that from the funder, paste it into a Word document, bold it, and make the font a different color, and then answer the questions right below it. You can cut out what the funders ask, all the unnecessary information, and leave the bold or the headers, but just make sure you answer the same questions that they're asking in that order, because again, it makes it easier for the reader. If you have to, look around, you're going to get grumpy when evaluating. You're going to get grumpy. Let's see here. Last one. Whew. If they say use 12-point Arial, even though it's big, use 12-point Arial. That's what they want. If they say double space, 1 inch, 1 inch. If not, you will get thrown out. If they say put the page number at the bottom in the center, put it in the bottom in the center. Follow their directions. No citations. Cite everything that is a statement, a very bold statement. Citations are really important. U.S. Census Bureau, Department of Labor, whatever. Just put the year, date and year. Also, this is the big one. Don't put your back against the wall where you are playing with the time. Don't. If you're submitting something electronically, try to get it in 24 hours ahead of time. Try. Susie, Claudia, I know I'm not good at that sometimes. I appreciate it, but you guys got it in hours ahead of time. Hours ahead of time. So that was a win. That was a win. But it is so important because things go wrong. And I have also seen some county departments still require in-person submissions. I have seen people crying at the door of a county department 2 minutes after the deadline because there was an accident on the freeway. Why do that to yourself? Don't do that. Start a day early. Stay up a couple hours extra the night before. Get it done early. This happens. Don't let it happen to you. All right, so I'm going to pause because we have a little bit more to go, but that's the closing of the actual proposal piece, because I do want to cover some other information on where you can find additional information on funders and training. But I want to stop and ask if we have any questions, because you have to stick around because we need you to do the evaluation, because that's very important. So do we have any questions or any comments? And then we're going to move into the evaluation, and we're going to then give you a gift, 3 gifts. Any questions? We good? Okay, so now here's the deal. If you complete your evaluation, only if you complete your evaluation, we will know if you did, you are going to get then, so this is the carrot. Susie is going to present the stick. So if, let me go back to this. If you, sorry about that, if you complete the evaluation, you're going to get 3 things from us. One is a grant readiness assessment checklist, which gives you, it's a whole long list of things that you should have ready to submit proposals, including things like for government proposals that you should have ready. A proposal writing basics. It's a sheet with Andrea's rules on what you should and shouldn't do in writing proposals, and a letter of interest template. It's very basic, but it should get you going, and it's something to start. But that's only if you complete the evaluation. So Susie, Brian, Sarah, Claudia, anyone?
So Sarah just dropped the survey in the chat. So if everyone could just, and Sarah, I'll let you kind of explain everything to everyone since you're in the room about the evaluation.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, so there's just a brief evaluation form. The link is in the chat. It's SurveyMonkey. And so it should just take a few minutes to complete. There is the first question about which workshop you're in, but there should be a date there for today. And that's all you need. And then I think I'll send you back the names of the folks who complete it, so you know where to send those extra bonus tools.
Good stuff. So you'll have a few minutes to do this. Do we want to play some cute uplifting? And then don't leave, because I want to also tell you where you can find some funders and some additional training.
Thanks everyone for completing the survey.
Thank you, Sarah, for doing the survey.
Yeah. And for us, you know, as we've been talking about evaluation, all that, just for you, it's a way for IECC also to improve the work and the webinars that we present to you. So if there's anything that you really liked, you know, we read every single one, and anything you recommend or something you'd like to see from us to do in the future. And there was a couple of things we mentioned in the chat, but if there's something that you've been wanting to learn more about, that's certainly a space that we want to be able to support your efforts. So, you know, it helps us do be better of service to you all. And as well, it helps us tell our story for the funder who gave us money for specifically this webinar on what happened. And either did you learn something or did you not? So we make them available to you free. There has been no cost for you to attend these webinars. So all we ask in return is, please do us a favor and, it takes 1 or 2 minutes of your time to fill it out. It's a way for us to go back to the funder and say, we think you should support this for the next 3 years. And this is the reason why. These are the things you've said to us. So thank you.
And I think somebody in the chat said it's asking. Okay, you know what, guys? This is
same survey. Let me I can fix probably that in just a moment or two. We might have to send it back out. I apologize for those of you who took it last week. Maybe that's the issue.
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay, I apologize. Yeah, I did not anticipate that.
So, Sarah, you want me to give you I can riff for a minute or two because I can then go do the last couple things. Okay, thank you guys for letting us know that. Let's see here. Let me go back to, so I want to cover where you can find information on funders. Oops, hold on. Oops, stop sharing. Let me go over to here. Are you now seeing? No, you're not. Are you seeing? No, you're not. Okay. Let's go back here. Before we go into the where you can find grants, I want to commend you guys for sticking with us. Okay, yeah. This was seriously, thank you for that. When we were talking about doing this in person, it's just it's easier to sit for some reason in a room with people and I'm a big Post-it fan. I love little Post-its onto big Post-its. And I love smacking things up and moving things around and having people get up. When we decided to go 100% virtual, I was like, oh, it's a long time. So I just want to thank you for sticking with us on this. If we tried, Brian, thank you so much for Coot and trying to make this interactive, and Susie, thank you, and Claudia, thank you for helping with this. I appreciate you sticking with this. This is a long day, and I know how tough it's been. Hopefully we've made it a little entertaining for you and not as painful as it could have been. So I just want to say thank you for that. So I want to give you a couple more things. Where can I find possible funders? There are resources out there. IECC, this is a really nice resource that they provide. They go through on a monthly basis and vet proposals that are, or vet opportunities that are out there. And it's Inland Empire Community Collaborative.org. But they, for I think it's like $9 or $10 a month, they will then provide you lists of funders that are looking to fund in this area, as well as government proposals as well. So you may want to consider joining. There are plenty of other benefits to joining the IECC. Foundation Center by Candid is another opportunity. There's another database. It is not inexpensive. I think the lowest membership is the basic, and it's probably, Susie, do you know how much it is?
For Foundation Center?
Yeah.
It's about, I think the lowest one is like $8.95.
Okay.
And then it goes up to the one we have is like $1,800.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's the one we use to put the grant bulletin together for them.
Yeah, it's like $8.95 a month for the basic plan or something like that. And then it goes up.
Brian, because Brian, what was the actual amount for them when we looked at it?
I feel like the last time we looked, it was like $1,200. I think Claudia would.
Yeah, that's right. That was the low end. That was the low end.
Yeah. So it's wonderful to use. It's wonderful to use. It's a joy to use. Then there's also Grant Station too. So those are your kind of, there are other opportunities out there. Those are the three that we all know. And so if you have the finances, it's nice to go through this, but also you can burn a lot of time going through the Foundation Center by Candid. A lot of time, like hours and hours. The last thing I want to cover is where can I find additional training? Stay tuned. Stay tuned. We will be having a budget session coming up, which would be very useful. That will then kind of dovetail with this. We're going to be doing a deep dive into data with Brian, the data maestro. And then we're going to be doing a logic model session coming up as well. So please stay tuned for those. And now I'm going to hand it back to Sarah Marshall. Did I give you enough time?
Sure, yeah, that was fixed momentarily, so I think there shouldn't be a problem for folks who took it last week. You should be able to get in and use the same link. It looks like we have 10 that are already completed, so great work, everyone. And I saw a couple notes about people who have, there was someone who said they couldn't get into SurveyMonkey at all, so maybe there's another way we can gather that information from you. But again, thank you for the 10 who've already completed it, and keep going if you are working on it now.
The other question you guys asked were, could we get a copy of the slides or the recording of it if you wanted, if you're a better, learner that way. And Sarah just dropped the new link in the chat. So yes, the slides will be made available for everyone, as well as it is being broadcasted on Facebook Live, and that recording will be done as soon as the session is over. So you can also take a look at it if you want to send it to somebody or a staff person to go through it. They'd get the whole recording for the day. And the other thing that I'd like to add is, so IECC also through a grant from Wells Fargo has been able to continue to do a grant bulletin that we have done for almost in partnership with SEI and First Five for almost 9 years. And we recently got refunded to continue to do that. That grant bulletin was curated specifically for nonprofits in San Bernardino and Riverside County, both private foundations, state grants, and federal proposals. They can range from 50 to 75 opportunities every month. Claudia, myself, Brian, we work on it every month. And that list is curated specifically for organizations or foundations that fund in the IE. So the idea that we knew most of us, or as nonprofits, we can't afford Foundation Center or Candid now, or even Grant Station is so expensive. We put that list for you together. It had always been free before, but we have a fee for service now. So the cost is $9, $10 a month, and or $99 a year for you to have full access to all the grant funding. And every month, new opportunities are added monthly for you. So that's still available and it's on our website. So if you want to take a look at that, you're more than welcome. We give out samples every month for you to kind of get an idea of what funding opportunities are happening. And it has become a really new funding revenue generating opportunity for IECC, because there's not too many places now that you can go use Foundation Center. I think it used to be at what was that, United Way, and then for a while it was at Riverside Resource Center. You could walk in and go online and take a look at grants and print them out. I used to do that because I couldn't afford it when I first started, but I don't know of any location right now. Maybe Academy Go still has it up in Victorville, but I'm not certain if they do. It's expensive to go and look for grants, and it takes a lot of time. So we kind of trying to make it a shortcut for you guys around that.
You can burn hours and hours and hours.
Oh yeah, and the first month is free. Thank you, Brian, for all you guys attending. It's free for you guys. So you can take a look, run around and look at what grant opportunities are there for your organizations for free. And if, and there, Brian put the link, of course, he's like psychic, put the link in the chat for you guys on where you can find it.
All right. Any other questions? Because then if not, we're going to close up. So any other questions? It has been a long day, and I, again, appreciate you hanging in there. And I hope that, oh, we do have one more. Actually, we don't have to do the last survey, Brian, because Sarah is collecting that information. Right? I think so too.
Yeah, we've got 19 already. So they're coming in. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Any other questions, folks? So I want to leave you with a quote if we don't have any questions. Okay, let me see. We will have the resources stated before emailed to us. Amari would like to know. Yes, I'm seeing Susie say yes.
Yes.
Excellent. You guys, in closing, the work you do is hard. The work you do is hard. Writing proposals is hard, but it's only hard because it takes time. And if you are the executive director, the program, the program manager, if you're the accountant, if you're the this, if you're the that, it's hard and it takes time. Okay. It takes time of concentration. Anybody can do it. If you can form sentences, if you can follow directions, if you are somewhat naturally inquisitive and like learning, you can do this, but it's just a matter of starting. To quote somebody who kind of knew something about a sport, a guy named Michael Jordan, it says, I can accept failure. Everyone fails at something, but I can't accept not trying. And I think that's really important. You got to try. You just got to try. If you get your first one, hallelujah. If you don't get your first one, you started to lay a foundation for your second one. If you don't get your second one, you've laid a foundation for your third one. They all build on one another. So I am asking you to just try. And I see a couple more questions. Thank you, Sarah. And there is nowhere to put our email or contact info on the survey to receive the 3 free resources.
It's everybody that's that's on this call right now, who stayed until the end, all get the resources. So it doesn't have to be on the survey. We are capturing you guys by the end of the day. So you're good to go. You all get them.
So just start trying. Just try. Okay. Get in there, work on, just start with something you feel comfortable with. Start with your need statement, save it. Just keep going. Okay. And keep training, keep learning, keep doing the good work you do.
So I just want to thank Andrea Mitchell. Applause, applause, applause. Always learn something from her. So grateful for her talents and willing to share it. She's a really good teacher. And I used to be a special ed teacher. So, she has a gift of not only being a great grant writer, but she's also really a great teacher. So anytime we can do something with her and Sarah Marshall, but also a special thanks to my team, which is Brian and Claudia. We can't do this work without each other. So we're like the mighty little team. Again, we'd love to hear if you've had any successes as part of our being able to share our story from this. Just last time we were on a call, we heard a couple of organizations say just from last early in the year, we did some things with Andrea that they had already gotten some funding using some of the tips and recommendations she had given them. So if you are successful, we'd love to hear from you and also support you in anything you need. So have a great afternoon. Stay out of the rain if you're having to drive. And we look forward to having you join us on other workshops. So thank you so much.
Please do. I put my email in the chat. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, IECC team, Sarah. Thank you, everyone, for being here and for doing what you do for the community. Keep up the good work. Stay dry.
Great work.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.